What's up, everybody? My name's Big Cam and welcome back to a Comically Boston weekly nerdy news, another Monday morning podcast to go over everything that happened in the last week in nerdom, in movie news. And there was some big stuff that dropped and some movie posters and different first images, first looks at some different movies, and some casting news for Spider-Man 4 that's pretty insane. If you saw from the title and thumbnail of this video, Sadie Sink, who many people know from Stranger Things and other movies, maybe The Whale she was in with Brendan Fraser, but she has been cast alongside Zendaya and Tom Holland for Spider-Man 4. And we don't know a whole lot about that movie, but it is confirmed casting and was confirmed by The Hollywood Reporter that she is in the cast. So this led many people to speculate who she might be playing, but we're going to be doing that a little bit further later in the show. But let's get right on into the weekly nerdy news, shall we? Over the last weekend on Netflix and in theaters, The Electric State, the Russo brothers' new film, just dropped. And it is currently, last time I looked, was sitting at a 19% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes, which was tough. I watched it over the weekend. My movie review is up on the channel if you want to hear my full thoughts. I thought it was better than a 19%, but go watch for yourself, check out the movie review, and let me know what you guys think. The next thing I want to talk about is a new Paramount Plus original series called MobLand with Tom Hardy, Pierce Brosnan, and Helen Mirren. And this will be coming out March 30th. And I don't know what this is about, but it seems that Tom Hardy's been busy. Between MobLand, he's got a movie coming out called Havoc. It was just doing Venom Part 3 last year, so I don't know. Tom Hardy TV show, I'm probably here for it. Would you guys watch a MobLand TV show on Paramount? I don't think Paramount's the biggest of the streaming platforms, but comment below your thoughts. The next movie poster we're going to be looking at is Brad Pitt's Formula One, and the trailers for this keep looking insane, and I think just the filmmaking side of this movie is going to be really insane and look insane. Will the story be any good? I'm not sure. I don't know much about the actual story of it, but just from the filmmaking, of them, really driving the cars, and I know people like Lewis Hamilton were driving some of the cars for this movie, right? So they got real Formula One, some of the best drivers in the world to come do the driving in this movie, and then the close-ups are Brad Pitt in the cockpit, pretending that it's fast. I don't know, maybe he was driving an Indy car or something at some point and to get the actual footage of stuff flying by him and get the speed face, you know what I mean? I don't know, I am curious about this movie though, but comes out end of July. The next movie poster is a Dolby poster for Jason Statham's A Working Man, coming out March 28th. This next poster is a very fun one. Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan have returned for Freakier Friday. Here we go again, and that comes out August 8th, only in theaters. And when I was a kid, I loved Freaky Friday, but now I'm a grown man, and I don't know if I'll be seeing Freakier Friday, but cool that they're bringing back some nostalgia for us 2000s babies, you know what I mean? The next movie poster is a movie starring Dakota Johnson, Chris Evans, and Pedro Pascal. And I think this kind of love triangle thing going on here, and some people just want more. And this is a song written and directed by Academy Award nominee Celine Song. And this movie is called The Materialists. I don't know what this is about, but just the three of them alone, Dakota Johnson's pretty awful. But Chris Evans, Pedro Pascal, this has to be some kind of promiscuous movie, no? Maybe this is Challengers, but the three of them, but leaning into more like Dakota Johnson, 50 Shades of Grey? I don't know. I know nothing about this movie. Tell me what you guys know about The Materialists, and if you'll be watching it when that comes out June 13th. Now this last movie poster, I will be seeing April 18th when this comes out in theaters. This is Ryan Coogler's new film, vampire film, horror film, starring two Michael B. Jordans called Sinners and Dance with the Devil, shot with IMAX cameras, coming out April 18th. That movie in trailer looks really good. Haley Steinfeld, Michael B. Jordan, Ryan Coogler, that movie's gonna be insane. Next up, we got some first looks, and the first one we're looking at here is an image of Karl Urban as Johnny Cage for the new Mortal Kombat 2 film coming out, and this is an entertainment first look. And also from Mortal Kombat 2, we have our first look here at Kitana. I believe this will make a lot of Mortal Kombat fans happy to see Kitana and Luke Cage is Marvel Defenders, Johnny Cage. The two of them are big characters in the game, and they were missing them in the first movie, so here they are confirmed for the second movie. There's also a Lilo and Stitch live action film coming out soon, and the trailer just came out recently that was really cute, and there was images of Stitch in live action and how much it looks like the original movie and how much they are pulling from it. Although, you know, obviously they have to do some things differently for live action, but he's still going to be Lilo's puppy, and Stitch is hilarious. I loved Stitch when I was a kid, and I'm sure this will bring a whole new generation of kids on board with Lilo and Stitch, and I ain't mad at that. This next Apple TV project is starring Seth Rogen. I believe he also had to do with the writing and making of this, producing it, and this project is called The Studio. They don't make films, they make movies. The Studio. And this is also starring Catherine O'Hara, Ike Barinholtz, Chase Sue Wanders, and Catherine Hahn. Catherine Hahn? Oh my god, I'm in. March 26th, if you guys don't know who Catherine Hahn is, that's Agatha from Agatha All Along, with Catherine O'Hara and friggin' Seth Rogen. I don't know what this show is, but apparently it's getting reviewed very well, because with 20 critics reviews, it's sitting at 100% Rotten Tomatoes. That's wild. I mean, I don't know if it's just people love Seth Rogen, but a comedy TV season, a show for Apple TV Plus sitting at 100% Rotten Tomatoes score? I don't know, I might have to check that one out. Comment below March 26th if you'll be watching The Studio if you're an Apple TV Plus person. So next up, we got some first images and looks. In this shot here, we have Jon Bernthal's bald head talking to somebody, shaking hands, next to what Tom Holland will be looking like in this film. And he honestly looks like he's growing out his hair a little scraggy, versus bald-headed Jon Bernthal growing out the beard, you know. Tom Holland here, that's probably how he's going to look in the movie, and also what he's going to look like afterwards in Spider-Man 4. But this is a great shot here of them. I don't know if this is a real boat or just like a prop, but it looks like a real boat, as Christopher Nolan is behind Tom Holland, and they are sailing somewhere, sailing to shore, I don't know, but it's just hilarious to me that, like, you know, Tom's in these like old school robes, and then you've got Christopher Nolan behind him with like the little life vest, and he's got like this portable TV thing that he's always got around his neck that he's always carrying, and it's like, okay, alright, whatever. Christopher Nolan, real eccentric guy, but I like him. I don't know why, but I like him. But while we're speaking about Tom Holland and being in Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, might as well talk about Sadie Sink being in Spider-Man 4. And who could she possibly be starring alongside Tom Holland's Spider-Man and Zendaya, right? Zendaya is Michelle Jones Watson, but she's not your traditional MJ ginger hair type of look. Maybe she's playing a Mary Jane Watson that brought in a different universe, or maybe she's just another MJ. People have been speculating that maybe she's playing a Starfire or Starfire, I think is her name. I think she's up there on top of the Daily Bugle, flying up there. She's one of the characters in that Daily Bugle. But between Iceman and Firestar, I think is her name. I might be wrong on that, don't quote me. But between Firestar and Iceman and Spider-Man, that was like Super Friends, like an old thing that people are like, oh, maybe they're bringing Super Friends, they're gonna bring in an X-Men, bring this. There's also been speculation because of her red hair that she could be playing Jean Grey. I don't know. I don't think she's gonna be Jean Grey or MJ. I think the closer options are probably maybe a Black Cat, but that's probably not gonna be right. If I think the fan cast for Black Cat is Sydney Sweeney, and I kind of agree with that, but maybe she's playing like a Gwen Stacy, you know, maybe they bring in that type of thing. The last couple actresses, Emma Stone and Bryce Dallas Howard, that played Gwen Stacy, were also redheads in real life that dyed their hair blonde for that role, so maybe Sadie Sink's going that route. But either way, I think she's a promising young actress, and she's going to do real well in this Spider-Man 4 movie. Although we don't know much about what Spider-Man 4 is about, we just know that Tom Holland and Zendaya will be in it. coming off of No Way Home, he's got no friends left, right? Like, he's nobody knows who he is. He's alone in New York. He's taking his GED test. And other than that, Dustin Daniel Cretton, Shang-Chi's director, is directing Spider-Man 4. So maybe Shang-Chi's in there somehow teaming up with Spider-Man, but I really don't know what this film's about. But now we know Sadie Sink's in it. Comment below, who is your fan cast on who Sadie Sink might be playing. I think my best bet is probably Gwen Stacy. Will she be, you know, Spider-Gwen? I don't know. I think this is a young actress that could carry that character into the future. Maybe that's the route they're going. They're going to bring in Spider-Gwen. Maybe they're trying to bring Miles into this movie. They bring in, you know, Spider-Gwen, Miles, Peter, and they have 3 Spider people on screen that aren't Toby, Andrew, and Tom. That could be very interesting. I think people would want to see that. More so than Sadie Sink being those characters, I think I would want to see Sydney Sweeney's Black Cat hooking up with Tom Holland, making him rob stores and, you know, be a bad person, but he's like trying to make her do good, but she's a criminal, right? Like, she's, if you played the PS4 or PS5 Spider-Man games, the Black Cat in that, Felicia Hardy, is pretty awesome. And if Sydney Sweeney plays the character kind of like that, I'm not mad at all, you know what I'm saying? But moving on from Sadie Swink and Spider-Man 4, we do have some new images and crisper images released from the Thunderbolts trailer, and this is obviously the lab where Florence Pugh's Yelena Belova blows it up and steals the little hamster that we've seen from the trailer, but we see that she's got this guy tied up, duct taped, and she's talking shit to him in the trailer, but just another crisper image here. We also see Bucky Barnes with his metal arm as congressman. He's holding papers. I can't zoom in on what it says on the papers, but Bucky Barnes as a congressman Bucky, that is so wild to see. And then this last shot here of Taskmaster, just releasing another crisp image of Taskmaster. I think to bring people off the scent that this character is probably going to die in this movie. But who knows, the Thunderbolts could be like James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, and a whole bunch of these characters could die real early, real quick, and throw us off the scent of what this movie's all about entirely. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we see quite a few deaths in that movie. But just to close out today's show, the last 2 topics, there was some posters released for Superman Day 2025 for DC Studios, and Superman Day shall be on April 18th, and I think they're going to be dropping like a new trailer or something April 18th, but also April 18th, or April 13th I should say, also in April, the following week or the week prior, The Last of Us Season 2 shall be dropping, and the Emmy Award-winning series returns for Season 2 with Pedro Pascal as Joel Miller and Bella Ramsey as... what is her last name? Ellie Miller. Ellie. What the fuck? Like, how after all this time I don't know Ellie's last name? Johnson? No, that's Ashley Johnson's. What? It's Ellie. She's just Ellie. Doesn't matter, I guess, but Ellie. It's a beast. Ellie. But we see a shot here of Bella Ramsey's Ellie and a poster here. I think this is a fan-made poster. Either way, it's kind of like a mock of the video game poster with Ellie on the cover, and oof, I can't wait to see Bella Ramsey covered in blood and, you know, really going vicious, ham, balls to the wall type stuff. And she's had this type of chops in her since she was a child, so I know she's got that. But we do see shots that, you know, of the in the game, there's like this shooting. He's like showing her how to shoot a rifle, Tommy is, and we actually see it in like the fallish time, but apparently in the show it's going to be full winter and they're on a cliff-sided snowy mountain shooting infected probably. And then the final picture here of just one more shot of Caitlin Dever's Abby, who is a huge character in the game and show, and Caitlin Dever, I think a lot of people are like, she's too small. The Abby in the game is beefy. But I think, you know, who probably would have been a better Abby would have been like a Katie O'Brien. She just had the muscle. She has the acting chops. But it is what it is. I think Caitlin, same thing, will be doing a great job in season 2 and further in this Last of Us HBO show. But just the shots from the trailer, there's a couple crazy ones where we see Bella Ramsey's Ellie and what's her name, Tati Gabriel, who is playing Nora in the show. And just from that one scene of them with the red lighting, the people from the game know exactly which moment from the game this is, where Ellie corners Nora in a hallway and she goes, "I'm not going to give up my friend," and Ellie's got to do some dark shit, you know. But I won't spoil what happens for the people that haven't seen, but the game people, everyone's like, "Ooh, this is gonna get good." But if the people that played the games watched season 1, you know that these filmmakers and directors are people that really love the games, and they're not just putting out stuff that is one-to-one, you know, same from the game to the show. They're kind of changing it for the better, I think, for the show to, you know, make it more interesting for people that do know what's going to happen and really subvert expectations and throw us for a loop sometimes. Like, I know little differences, like in season 1, Henry and Sam wasn't deaf in the games, but when he is in the show, it really adds another element to this character, you know? So they're not afraid to change things. Will they change the beginning of part 2 of the game for anyone that knows? I don't think so, but who knows? I mean, it's up to them, and I wouldn't be surprised if they surprise us pretty good, but I wouldn't be surprised if they don't either, you know what I'm saying? But just the last image here, we have an Empire exclusive of Isabella Merced's Dina and Bella Ramsey holding each other, dancing with the lights in this bar, and this is a great scene from the game. But that's it for today's show. My name is Big Cam. Comment below, have you played The Last of Us 2? Will you be watching The Last of Us Season 2? Daredevil Born Again breakdowns coming out every week. Episodes 1, 2, and 3 breakdowns are already on the channel. Season 1 and 2 full season summaries and breakdowns for Daredevil, the Netflix Daredevil seasons, are out now, and I am currently working on Season 3's, so that will be coming out later this week. Stay tuned for that. I hope you guys enjoyed another Monday Weekly Nerdy News podcast with your host, Big Cam. That's me. If you'd like to follow my other social medias, links in the description down below. Thank you guys so much for coming on by. If you've made it this far and want to support the channel, the best way to do that is by liking this video, commenting below, sending this video to a friend, hitting that bell so you don't miss future videos and you get the notifications. And don't forget to subscribe. About 98% of you aren't subscribed, and that goes a long way. Get me to 1,000 subscribers and get this thing rolling, baby. Thank you guys so much for coming on by, and I will see you beautiful people in the next one. Peace.